Welcome everybody. How are you doing today? It's so very nice to have you here. And today I wanted to speak a little bit about what Papaji, my teacher, used to say, which is such a core instruction. Keep quiet, don't make any effort. And this is one of the themes that we'll be addressing in our upcoming day-long intensive. So if you are interested in that and many other things I will be speaking about, please join us. So keep quiet, don't make any effort. Very, very clear, simple, powerful instruction, not always easy to follow. However, if we only had this one instruction, I believe that instruction could lead us to freedom. If we really understood this, if we really took it, not just understood this, but if we really took it seriously, because it so well describes the inner, workings of being here, right? So when Papaji says keep quiet, it means don't engage with what arises here. Don't engage with thought, don't engage with feeling, don't engage with sensation, don't engage with emotion, right? Keep quiet. So that means keep bringing your attention here. Keep directing your attention inward. Keep quiet, right? It doesn't mean to suppress what arises. It doesn't mean to control what arises. That's so often a misunderstanding, when there's instruction for meditation, what is meditation? It's really resting in our natural state, right? So we sometimes misunderstand this, keep quiet as a way to just, suppress, avoid, or try for it to be different. But keep quiet is right in the midst of it, keep quiet, don't engage. Don't engage. Papaji also said, even in the midst of thought, don't think, right? Don't think. So that means don't engage, don't get pulled into it, don't get interested, things are going to be happening. And the more we follow that part of the instruction, the deeper you begin to rest in presence. Because things arise. Thoughts arise, ideas arise, feelings arise, sensations arise, memories arise, right? And yet we keep that instruction, keep quiet, don't engage, don't move with what arises. However, then we have the other part of that instruction also, which is as important as the first one. Don't make any effort. So don't make any effort means, of course, don't suppress, don't try to control, don't try to, make it any different. And most of all, also, when we are sitting quietly and we are not engaging with what is, and also when you begin then to rest, there may be that tendency of the mind that wants to grasp or hold on to that particular state, right? It wants to make an effort to be here, right? And sometimes, if we misunderstand, if we don't understand, this is what some people call meditation, right? Making an effort to be here. It's an effort, right? But by making that effort, first of all, if we make effort, it's only going to last as long as we are sustaining that effort. You know yourself how consistently you can sustain any effort. And even if you were really, really, really practiced in it, still, that's a lot of the yogic practices. They are based on effort, right? Retention of breath, retention of thought, they can be completely no thought, no breath even, right? Very, very, very powerful in a certain way, but it's based on effort, right? So that means when the effort subsides, the breath is going to arise again, the mind is going to arise again, right? So, sometimes we misunderstand being here or being quiet or practice for making an effort to be here, right? Or wanting to hold on to any particular state, or wanting to, when certain particular state is present, we want to hold on, but we also want to, like insist that or land in it, like say, this is it, right? This is what presence is like, or this is what being here is like. And all of that is effort, right? And what effort does, it actually closes our perception, right? Effort, like a fist that closes, right? You start making effort, slowly the fist closes, and so you are actually less and less able to be here when we are making an effort, right? So again, very powerful instruction: keep quiet. And don't make any effort. If we follow that, that really brings us to resting in our natural state.